Hi, good morning. Welcome to Tarot Time. Welcome. Whether you're live or watching this as a video, this is our weekly tarot forecast. We're going to do a meditation card that's succinct to the energies of the week. I do a 3-card spread, and I've got a whole bunch of other divination tools. I have a real good time this morning. So if you're here as a video, just give us a minute or two to let the live people get their notifications and come in, and we will get started. So happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. So hi, Jan the Matrix. Yes, Greek. Hi, Carl. Hey, Sandra and Rose and Suzette and Angela and Robin. Welcome, Jody, with some music, musical notes here. Hi. And thank you, Chris. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, we just hit 6K. It's either yesterday or the day before, so it's hard to keep count. Hi, Michelle. Pup, welcome. Good morning. Oh, the lucky pup. Why did I think that said Michelle Pup? I think I'm seeing things. Maybe I need to clean my glasses. Hi, Sarah. Oh boy. Okay. Well, it's a Sunday morning. I have visitors. My son's 24th birthday was yesterday. His 24th on the 24th, so he's visiting, and his mom's visiting us too. So we're happy. We're happy campers today. So on a Sunday morning, the ultimate question is: are we coffee, tea, or caffeine free? And I am coffee today. Usually I'm green tea or caffeine free, but I was like, I'm not sleeping. I'm gonna have some coffee. So what's up, Sarah? What's up, fam? Hello, Elena. Thank you for that. Happy birthday to Odin, my son. I haven't really checked the ephemeris. I kind of like to do that. I know Neptune's going, I think, retrograde. And, we always have some planetary things going on. And as as uh, as predicted, if you watch the June forecast, the June psychic forecast, month of surprises, crazy things happening. I mean, fire starting, 200 fires starting in an afternoon, and bringing orange smoke into the east coast of the U.S. That's pretty surprising and shocking. That's very succinct to the Uranus energy that's very prevalent this month, and continues to be. And Lucky Pub saying coffee always. Happy birthday to Odin. Thank you, Suzette. Coffee for Sarah too. Yeah, get that. I joined the dark side. And my coffee's even black just to prove it. All right. So, you guys, at 1 o'clock, if you're available, we're going to do a group prayer. We're going to do some heart brain coherence and raise our frequency and vibration and help to heal the earth, help to heal each other, help us, just inject a lot of positive energy into the collective and Mother Earth. This is it. Is what we've been talking about for years. The mass awakening, the shift into the Aquarian age, whatever you want to call it, everything's changing. The house of cards that this whole society's been built upon for decades. The big gust of wind is coming to blow that house of cards down, so we can build a nice solid structure with a cement foundation rather than cards. And that's basically what's happening. The systems of greed and control and all that are getting exposed every day. Something's coming out, something's getting exposed, things are getting leaked into mainstream media. The level of distraction has increased. There's a lot of question marks around that. It wasn't even a submarine, but that thing, that pod that apparently imploded in the bottom of the sea near the Titanic, and that the Russia-Ukraine war, there's a big lens focusing on that and the so-called falling of Putin or whatever. But, stay in your heart, stay in your power, know what's going on, know what they're saying. But if we're really in our heart, then our intuition expands. And if you really connect with community that's like-minded of conscious people, then we have an idea what the truth is and what it's not. So the idea is really when we're in the heart, we're in the eye of the storm. I say this a lot. It's worth repeating again. So I'll repeat it again. When you're in the heart, you're in the eye of the storm. When we're in our heart frequencies, that frequency of compassion, ultimate love, ultimate gratitude, and all that, that's when our brains become coherent also. So with all the distractions, all the news, all the fear, all the programming, all the guilting and shaming, all the anger and all that brings the heart out of coherence. And when the heart's out of coherence, because the heart and the brain have the same cells or some of the same cells, and science is proving that they are connected, that they're really two sides of one, I don't want to say one organ, because there are obviously two organs, but one system, two organs in one system. When you affect the heart, because it has a stronger electromagnetic field, you affect the brain. So when you bring the heart into coherence, then the brain comes into coherence. What happens when the brain comes into coherence? We access spirit, we access our intuition, we access superhuman abilities to heal ourselves. How do I know? Because I've done it. And doctors couldn't heal me, but my mind could, my heart and my brain in coherence could. And basically that's how we know. That's how we know. What's the old expression? The proof is in the pudding. So anyway, 1 o'clock, we're going to do a group meditation, raise our vibration, send lots of beautiful light, love, and energy into the collective. You know, we live in a world where most people are suffering, unfortunately. And if you're an empath like myself, I mean, I know it's a label, but some of us are very open and very sensitive to energy and people's emotions and whatnot. It's a tough world to live in. And again, doing the heart-brain coherence would really help that a lot. It makes us more compassionate. But then again, when you're in your compassion, it's not like you're pitying. It's a different vibe. It's a different energy. It's like, you still feel the suffering, but you understand there's a purpose behind it. You understand there's a bigger picture behind it. So anyhow, what are you guys saying before I get in? Happy birthday, Michelle. Michelle's your birthday yesterday, the same day my son was, or happy birthday to Odin. Thank you for those. We made an agreement before he came into the world, because 2.5 years before Odin was born, I got a premonition that I was going to have a son, and he's going to be named Odin. So we made this agreement: no sacrificing an eye for wisdom. No. That that's the Norse god, no Odin, that I'm talking about today. So the 25th is just as good as the 24th. And Claire's saying she's been feeling it so strong now. Happy birthday today, 11/11. So it is. Let's make a wish. All right, so let's do some tarot stuff, being that it is 11/11 and all that stuff, and that the background information is important. That kind of sort of sets the table, just kind of whatever I feel motivated to speak on before I even do the tarot, sort of sets the mood and the trend for what we're going to talk about. So with the meditation card, for anybody who's new, tarot was really like a wisdom tool and a meditation tool. It became a divination tool later on, apparently. Of course, I wasn't alive in the early Renaissance, so I don't know this as a fact, but I do know, based on historical records, that the tarot, where tarot came from, was originally done by an artist of King Ferdinand II. This according to the late and great Rachel Pollack, named Bonifacio Bembo. And he created these prints. That it was a game, but scholars started to notice these were prints about medieval time, but the artist was a Renaissance artist. So they started to do a little bit more research, a little bit more digging, and found the roots of these mystical paintings, these mystical prints, came from places like the Kabbalah, maybe the Bible, the scriptures, and other ancient texts, and it became kind of known as a book of wisdom. And this 22 major arcana cards depict the 22 states of consciousness available in the human experience. And then the 56 minor arcana cards, that's the number cards and the court cards, the modern playing cards came from, depict the 56 possible situation or energetic frequencies we can experience physically in a lifetime. So playing cards condense 56 cards into 52 cards by combining the knights and the pages into the jacks, and then the 22 major arcana cards became the Joker in the modern playing cards. It's a little history. So there are very good psychics. They use regular playing cards to do readings also. I tried it, didn't really work well for me, but there are some great psychics that do that. So when we do our meditation card, like any other meditation, we get present, we get it into our heart and into our power and into spirit. And then in your mind, just step into the card and then feel the energy. As soon as you step into the card, how's your energy change? You feel differently, emotionally, physically. Maybe you see colors or hear sounds or musical notes or sacred sounds. Maybe they're sacred geometry or symbols that come up. But these are all ways that, with our human sensory apparatus, these are all ways we can discern energy or discern different frequencies based upon how it affects our psyches and affects our own energy fields. And then conversely, how that translates into what we're feeling, what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're perceiving, and all that really good stuff. Good morning to you too, Orby. I have my glasses on. I can see you guys. So that's basically it. So let me pick a card that Spirit believes this is the best meditation card for the energies of this coming week. If you're around at 1 o'clock, maybe just part of it, I'll just let people just post on the chat, who they want to send prayers out also too. So that's our we can do a little prayer meditation at 1 o'clock if Colleen came on a little later. Good morning, MT also. All right. Now I need to clear my mind and stop thinking. Then I'm not connecting, right? Hello, Spirit. I know you're here somewhere. They're showing me birthday symbols. Yeah, they're here. Okay. And I found my card. Wow, this is a nice one. Autofocus is cooperating today. The Six of Cups. Very childlike energy. Sometimes the Six of Cups as a frequency can take us into memories and into nostalgia from this or other lifetime. So perhaps this week's meditation is going to take us into the past, but the past being an extension of the present, if that makes sense, because all time happens now, and take us into our own personal histories and our own karmic histories. Based on this card, I feel like this is a good week for healing. We just went into the sun sign of Cancer. It's a very healing cardinal sign, and I'll post these as you guys put them up here. But come back at 1, and we'll actually send them energy also. So when we meditate with the cards, it's like opening a door. So you're very relaxed. You're present. You're in your heart. Your heart and your brain are connected. That connects you to spirit. That connects you to the earth also, and in your mind, step through the card. First thing is, what do I feel? It's just like when I walk into a room, I like to, if I want to gauge the vibration, I'll clear my mind. I'll open the door. I'll step in the room and just gauge how I feel for a second. And then whatever else comes to you, color, sense, feelings, emotion, whatever it is. And then start to look around and see what else. This is just the doorway. There's a whole 360-degree view around that. And perhaps this will also give you a little bit of childhood insights also, or kind of take you back to childhood stuff. Perhaps even set attention to do like soul retrieval work. And I do something. It's not really soul retrieval because that's a shamanic practice, but it's akin to that where I'll call on Archangel Raphael. We'll go back to some point in my childhood. The archangel will take me there. I'll see myself as a child, whatever's going on. It's usually some trauma, usually, because it's a healing thing. And then I'll just talk to my child self, comfort him, hug him, bring him back into me. So in other words, it's like giving my child self a big hug and taking him back into my heart. That integrates, because when we have traumas and we have like systematic programming and serious traumas, part of our soul essence gets lost in that trauma, gets lost in that time period. So that's a way to start to reintegrate. And that's how we awaken, is through the process of integration and becoming whole again. So there we go. So I just wanted to post it. I have another one in 11. Wow, congratulations. Congratulations. Cancerian babies coming. So let's do a 3-card spread now. And this will be just sort of the energy of the week for us, for the community. Maybe you'll get personal messages, and maybe we'll tap into some current events. Remember a few weeks ago, I was seeing like flooding in New York City. I remember that. There's a vision, and I'm just wondering if it was a different element, if I was getting flooding with orange smoke from fires that probably got set, based on the circumstantial evidence around what happened with that. That was weird. We had it up here in the Hudson Valley also. Presently, I'm in Kingston. I'm in my office, but I live in Phoenicia. And yeah, I'm just mixing cards up. I have to clear my mind again. Limited table space. Let me move my microphone. Move the camera space. Hold on. A little house cleaning needs to be done. Okay. Okay, so now I need to clear my mind again after little distractions from the lower collective, shall we say, from the programming. All right. Okay, we're good. Thanks, Suzette. I blocked it sometimes because they use bots, this Tarot Destroyer, whatever the heck that is. So that they use bots. So sometimes I have to repeatedly block them. So we'll see how that works out. Thanks, Suzette, and for reporting them also. Okay, so let me. Oh, so I pulled the card. Let me get the. Get this on the old clipboard. Interesting. Kind of interesting energy here. So I'll show you the cards that I pulled. So it's the Queen of Pentacles is the first one. That's reversed. The King of Pentacles. Then the Eight of Swords also. And I'm looking at this and feeling like some of you may be dealing with some issues around an older couple. So you may be parents or grandparents, depending on your age and who's still alive on the earth. You may be dealing with somebody with their issues or their health or that kind of a thing. The Pentacles also about money and security. And then the eight's a Saturn energy. I mean, eight's in itself is a successful number, but you can kind of see sort of the energy of the person bound by their swords. Swords can represent the mind also, and thoughts. And then they're blindfolded too. So not, it's kind of like they're not seeing. It's like their ears are bound, their nose is bound. It's kind of like I think one of the messages for us as part of conscious or awakening community is we just can't really get too bent out of shape around people that are not awake or not willing to be awake or that are unpleasant or whatever. an ongoing theme that's going to be continuing a while, and it's going to affect different people in different ways. But friendships are going to end, connections are going to end as it's been happening, and that paves the way for new, more enlightened, and more empowered friendships for people to take their place, I want to say. And that's not to say, people that you cut out of your life are negative or evil or bad or anything like that. It just means you're evolving, and either they're not evolving or they're devolving, or they're not evolving in the same way that you are, or whatever it is. So I think that that's part of it. I also feel like to watch the banks, watch the banking system, watch the investments. These are like money cards, and this is restriction. So this could be restriction of money. Now, sometimes restriction of money is, again, something that's planned to manipulate people's thinking and to control, like, you control the flow of money. You basically control what people do or what they don't do. And money is always a huge source of anxiety and fear, but it can also be a source of joy and freedom. It just depends on whether you're a have or a have not. Now, remember, oh, cool. We love Lily Nova here. Thank you for posting that. What was I going to say? Gosh, I lost my train of thought on that. All right, it may come back, but the point being, let me hide that comment. Point being is that the money can be a tool to have power over others also, but it can also be a tool of freedom. So I think part of the message is really to not you buy into like anything that's being thrown at us as far as like fear programming, limitations. So yeah, watch things like investments, monies, banks. Like I say a lot, it's good to have. I have always at least $300 in cash. Now, granted, I understand that not everybody's able to have that much cash with them, but do your best, depending on what's going on. Like, have a backup plan, basically. I think, or if there is a situation where the banks shut down, or the ATMs shut down, or weird things like that happen. I think more than anything, what this is saying is that there's just this trending, this programming that's going on that's just keeping people really again in a sense of limitation as well. Yeah, I'm gonna post that. That's an interesting comment. Thank you, pro comment, and Ram. Welcome, Pops. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen a movie called The Serpent and the Rainbow. That's an early and probably Wes Craven's best movie for my money. And in that movie, I mean, there's Hollywood embellishments, but they really went into like the mystical and magical part of the downfall of I don't know if that one may have been about Baby Doc rather than Papa Doc. No, I think that was Papa Doc, and the researcher from Harvard that was studying the zombie powder. So it's based on a true story. But anyway, and they talk a lot about the voodoo, the zombie power, and it's the same creepy guy that was in Believers. That was like he's the Santero in Believers, and he was the voodoo priest in Serpent in the Rainbow. Same creepy guy. And so that's saying she's not seeing new comments. Well, there hasn't been a new comment. Well, actually, for 2 minutes, there hasn't been a new comment. All right, let me see what else I'm getting. My mind is in too many places. I'm getting too easily distracted today. For anybody that's kind of separated from their partner, but you're together due to financial reasons or logistic reasons, if this speaks to you, they're saying to work on that. Again, I mean, if you can live with your ex and you're happy and you're in your center and balance, fine. But if it's become a problem, you work with that. I think one of the messages is that we just can't fear money or lack thereof. And I know it's a real thing. I know it's easier said than done, but if you can really be in your heart and really be in that abundance vibration, and a lot of you can validate this, I'm sure, you create an energy that's attractive to money. And I know, I mean, when I was younger, it was a brief period, but I was technically homeless for a bit. I mean, it was in California, so it wasn't like the worst place to, not know where I was going to sleep at night. Um, what was I going to say? In other words, I've experienced pretty extreme lack, at different times in my life. Anyway, point being is that, when there's I had nothing. I remember one time I had nothing in my pocket. I was living in Florida, no way of getting money. I had like $5, I think, and I used the money to buy a scratch off ticket in Florida. Like, I think it was like a $1 ticket. I think I had like $2 or $3 in my name, and whatever it was, I spent the last of my cash, and I won $25, which wasn't a big deal. But this is the 1980s. There's enough to get food, and then more money came in after that. Point being is that money has a way of showing up, especially when you have faith. And that's what I was saying. A lot of you can validate when things were really bad. Somehow the money showed up, and it's all vibration. It's all energy, and that's what we have to remember. Because when we get put in these positions of feeling fearful about things, and there's lack, and we're being kind of, this level of consciousness is intruding us on a logistic level. Yeah, it's a scary thing to not have money when you need money in this world. But if you can transcend that and just feel like you already have it and really own that, it comes. And I think we really have to be mindful of that, in this time. I want to say, so what are you guys saying? 33 online. Yeah. May God uplift everybody. Thank you, Colleen, for that. And you live and take care of mom, so you can relate. Yeah. So people that are taking care of their parents, that could be part of the reasons. But I think some of it is more on the political front. The more money being funneled into like your defense spending and funneled out of social programs and stuff like that. Big, lots of big inconsistencies. One of them is the start of this war, which really had been ongoing since at least 2014. The one with all the attention's drawn to, not the dozens of other wars that are going on the planet, just the one that all the attention's drawn to. Again, the media, their job is to control the thinking of a society, because when you control the thinking of the society, you control that society. So the war started to break out. Raytheon, Lockheed Martin got contracted for a long war. But how did they know it was going to be a long war? It just began. How did they know that? If you guys want to chime in, because I don't know. Of course, I have no opinion one way or another, at least not on YouTube. On Spirit Mind Family, the Patreon group, suddenly I have an opinion, but here, no. And yeah, this is just like that limitation. But understand, limitation is the limitation in our thinking. It's the limitation of our minds, and it's a program. And we can counter that programming. We can change our programming, and that's the thing to remember: is we can change it through. We get programmed through the power of repetition, sometimes through extreme trauma. Creates a programming in our subconscious, but it's usually the power of repetition. So through repetition, you change it. Do affirmations daily. Do visualize and feel, not just visualize, but feel like what it is that you desire. Feel like it's already happening. We all desire financial freedom. Money's a tool. It's an empowerment tool. It can be used or misused like any other tool. And I choose to use it in a way that's going to expand consciousness. It's going to make my life easier, going to give me more opportunity to learn. Like, I'm going up to Lilydale to take 2 trance mediumship classes in August, so that I can learn more and be a better channel when I work with the master teachers, for example. That takes money to do that. So I think point is well understood. So let me see what else this is trying to tell me. Yeah, I feel like as I'm looking at these spirits saying, just don't get caught up in all the nonsense. I feel like they're feeling that better. And again, it's normal to hear things or to see what's going on in the world. And being that I'm super empathic, that I feel what's going on out there. I know a lot of you guys do also. It's so easy to get demoralized. It's so easy to question. It's so easy to lose our faith. Like, why do people have to suffer? Why are people on the street? Why are they destitute? And we just have to have faith that there's a much bigger program at play. And just like when I do my mediumship work and somebody comes through, they talk about they had cancer for 2 years or whatever, this, that, and the other thing. But it's a consistent message that, but once I left my body, it was like waking up from a dream. It's like the pain, the suffering, it just never happened. And pain is really an illusion of the mind. It's a way of, I don't know how to best describe this. I mean, it's real when you're in a physical body. This table is an illusion that it's solid because it's 99.9999% empty space, just according to basic chemistry 101, that nothing is solid. Everything is much more empty space, yet it appears solid. So we're living this illusion. So we're living this pain. We're seeing this all around us. We're seeing the suffering. But when we can get into the heart, we can lift above that. And the more we can lift above that, the more we're going to help others to lift above it. Remember one time, it was in the 1980s, I think. And I just had my awakening. I was still very young. I was still very judgmental. I was still, even though I had an awakening, that doesn't mean I was enlightened by any means. And I just remember at a train station, there was a woman there. She was a, dark complexion, African descent woman. She had no legs. What was it? She had no legs. She was in a wheelchair. I think she had arms so she could maneuver it. And she's just like saying hi to everybody. She was laughing. She was just beaming love and beaming all this. And meanwhile, this is somebody that couldn't walk. And there's more to it. I mean, this is like you would look at this person, you'd be like, oh my God, how does this person even get up in the morning to function, to face the day? But she's beaming love. She's saying hi to people. She's, saying, have a beautiful day. I love you and all this. And that's transcendence. That's awakening. That's learning to be in your spirit and in your power. You still have a body. You still experience what's going on in the physical, but you've transcended that and you feel that, you feel spirit. You feel that higher frequency. Anyway, I hope that makes sense to you guys. And then I'm not just rambling. Yeah, there's a lot. Even adjourn this meeting. 45 emails were just accidentally deleted while everybody was focused on this little pod near the Titanic. That's how it works. That's how the system works. Control the thinking of the masses. You control the masses, right? That's basic. That's actually, I think, part of the Communist Manifesto. Actually, not to open up that can of worms, but I believe it is Karl Marx. All right, so let's do a Native American card also. And they're all kind of mixed up here. All right, I'm just going to pull a card quickly. Okay, clearing my mind. This is the one they want me to pull. The Weaver, number 14. So I'll bring this close. The Weaver. Did I see that? So 14. This would be the equivalent of the Temperance card, key 14 in the tarot. I always think of the spider, the legend of the spider, the life weaver. And that's very powerful medicine to the Native Americans, because the spider teaches us that we can weave our lives, we can create our lives. And dream catchers are very kind of almost like spider web-like in their appearance, right? That it traps the bad dreams but lets the good dreams pass through and everything. So it's really important, we have the power to weave our lives, and whatever your circumstances right now, that's just your starting point. It's kind of like playing a game of cards. Like somebody may get all aces, somebody may get twos, threes, and fours. But if you have strategy and you know how to play that hand, you can still win with a hand that's not a winning hand. So in other words, if you're, because the reason I'm saying this, because I know a lot of us are not in really good places in life. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I'm in a great place, but I know a lot of people aren't. And sometimes you have to say, well, yeah, this is crappy, but at least I have food, or at least I have this, or at least I have an idea of a way to make money, or a skill or whatever. So we have to just sort of take into account, like, what do we have, and what can we build with that? What beautiful web can we weave and manifest our life that way, basically. So anyway, that's the life. That's the weaver, yes. And of course, in this one, the figures, out in nature, they're very focused on it, and it looks like he's actually making a little dream catcher. Yeah, the autofocus is doing good today. It's a crapshoot with my, with my setup here. Um, and you just kind of weaving, the blankets keep us warm at night. That's our sustenance. That's our survival also, as well. So anyway, so that's that. So that kind of adds to this. So, again, this is time to plan. It's not a bad idea to be prepared. The specter of food shortages, not completely off the table. I've talked about this. I've been telling you guys for years. I've been telling you guys also, I don't think it's going to be as bad as it could be, but be prepared anyway. And certainly shelves were empty for a while, but here in the more affluent Hudson Valley, we didn't run out of food or anything like that. And Susan's just saying, making a dream catcher of herself. So weave that magic in that dream catcher. When you weave, it's like weave your intentions into it also. That's part of it. That's like Celtic hair braiding. They weave their intentions. That's Celtic magic into the braids that they would make. And then when they're ready to release it, they would undo the braids and release the magic back into the air. Becoming a phoenix, very good. And rising, yes, it's Phoenix's rise. So, I just had another thought, because apparently we don't need vaccines to travel anymore. I mean, I'm not up on these things. I remember, a lot of people were really like up in arms, like, vaccine passports are coming. This is coming. You won't be able to do this or whatever. And if you guys have been following me for a while, here we said that's not going to last more than 2 or 3 years. That was the prediction on that. And honestly, I think timelines change. I think as we change our frequency and vibration, we change the timelines. Because certainly, it could have gone in a direction where we all needed vaccine passports to travel. That way, the pharmaceutical companies continue to get their daily feeding, but also the big tech companies get their daily feeding, because they're the ones that made the databases for these vaccine passports. So as is up to now, from what I hear, it didn't go as far as that it could. And that's a reason I'm saying that. There's a point to that as a collective consciousness, we can change the timelines. Certain things are going to happen just because of what needs to happen in order for us to grow and evolve. But it doesn't have to be total doom and gloom. Things don't have to go to like rubble to rebuild. Like we can evolve when things are still hard, and we can change our frequency and change the timeline so that things don't have to hit a worst case scenario. Up until now, the food shortages have not hit a worst case scenario. Up until now, the whole COVID pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, even though it's horrible if you lost people to that, not downplaying it at all, but it didn't reach that worst case scenario as far as I see, although some people say, well, million plus people dead. I mean, that's pretty bad or whatever. But anyway, you get the idea, right? So let me, I have sacred geometry cards that I like to use now also. So this will give us the frequency of the week. Energy, fire, Kundalini, absolutely. Clearly, you do a lot of Kundalini work here, also. At least I do. Anyhow, yeah, certainly Phoenix and Serpent and all that is very, Kundalini. And we don't have our yoga teacher, Children's School of Yoga today, because she's on a Kyle Gray. Kyle Gray. I don't know if they have a chat or he doesn't talk. So she's cheating on us basically. We forgive her. All right, but yeah, she could tell you the names of the three nadis that the Kundalini travels up and how the Kundalini travels through the chakras and all that good stuff. All right, so I'm finding my frequency. I'm thinking of REM's song. What's the frequency, Kenneth? I don't know if you guys know that song about Dan Rather. One of my favorite REM songs. What's the frequency, Kenneth? Anyway, magic is the frequency that we got. We like magic. We were talking about Celtic magic earlier, Native American magic. All right. Autofocus is officially pooped out. Oh, wait. All right, you can kind of get that. So, so part of the work is, with working with sacred geometry, just gazing on this and absorbing the energy of it. We can read it and get the intellectual meaning, but the real meaning is what we feel and what we sense intuitively with it. So, I'm holding this here for a while. If you guys want to come back, we're at 41 minutes or so into the video. I was just Colleen saying losing my religion also. Yeah, that's a good one too. I liked what's it called? Murmur, the first record. The first couple of records I really liked. Yeah. And so that pulled Synergy, we pulled Magic. And what it says here is the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move towards possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. Now, as I'm reading this and I'm kind of getting that Weaver energy also, I think one of the messages for us is this week is to keep moving forward and joining or creating your community. So I think that's really important, and that in the next several years, I think that's going to be really important with the transhumanism projects that are going on, the development of AI, the digitalization and centralization of money and all that stuff. It's like this big power play that continued to be leveled on the people, but people, humanity's awakening, and that's why they're getting sloppy. The deep state or whatever you want to call them. It's like to me, sloppy is creating a scenario where they light tons of fires in Canada. The smoke from it is like an orange brown color, not gray and black like typical fire smoke. And the prevailing weather pattern blows all that smoke down the Hudson Valley from the north and lands right in New York City in an orange cloud. And then they're probably available, but you stop seeing those like the day after. You stop seeing those pictures. So I think, point being is I think they're getting desperate because their plans aren't working, or not all of them. And they're trying something new, and they have the whole was it the Blu-ray thing or whatever that's called with the mock ET invasions and all that stuff, and another more deadly coronavirus out there, that could be leveled on us. Okay, I guess I am saying maybe a little. Not the algorithm's not going to understand that. Okay, we're good. But there are other viruses that they have access to. I think in this group and because it's we'll no longer get the video taken down. Like a year ago, if I talked about man-made, COVID was man-made. I could get my video taken down. I'd be called the conspiracy theorist by 1,000,001 people. It's like, all right, conspiracy theory. That's the prevalent belief now. COVID, arrived and, miles away from a lab that tests coronaviruses and creates them, just like Lyme disease, right across the water from Plum Island, where they, have testing of new viruses and bacteria and all that stuff. So anyway, the point being is that there's things that are there, and I think they're having to change the whole trajectory of things. And people are waking up too fast. So this week, focus on who's your community. Like if things start to go south, like where can we go? Who can we connect with? Sustainability is going to be bigger and bigger. There's going to be if things follow through. I don't think they're going to follow the course that a lot of people think. I think it's going to fall short. But should it follow the course where transhumanism becomes a real big thing? Like everybody wants to get on the metaverse. They interface with the technology. I mean, my cell phone glitches. Why would I want to interface with technology, especially technology that's not tested? Why would I want my brain wired to something that might glitch? I mean, common sense, right? It's in the Hunger Games movies. I think the second one with the with the tech geeks. This was like very futuristic for those that didn't see the Hunger Games movies. And one of the things he would say is that there's a flaw in every system. Any technological system, there's always going to be a flaw in it. So why would I want to be, why would I not want to develop my spirituality, develop my heart, develop my human potential, my superhuman potential? Why would I take shortcuts and plug it into computer technology? I mean, it's a tool that can be used in a good way, but it can also be misused. So I think as time goes on, these are the things that we're facing. And I think with the growing number of awakening people are going to want to separate out from that part of society. And I think a lot of people are going to go more into communal, almost like tribal living situations. But my feeling is there's going to be like underground internets, or the old internet's not going to get taken down, in favor of the metaverse. There's going to be ways that are still going to be networking. I feel like Spirit's saying we're doing good, and we're probably going to avoid a lot of that chaos. But as we get closer to 2030, we'll know. We'll know for sure. So anyway, I mean, if I work harder on telepathy, before telephones, people needed to rely more on telepathy, right? So just because there's modern conveniences and modern invention, just because there's med beds that are coming out, that doesn't mean we should stop learning how to cultivate our minds to heal our own bodies, because then you don't have to rely on an outside source. That said, I think it would be a really beautiful thing if we could, develop technology to cure cancer and other things like that. But I prefer not to be relying on something outside myself. I prefer to develop my mind, develop my heart, develop my spirituality the way that humans are meant to do it. So, there's always been spiritual traps, and there's always been people that have been moving towards enlightenment. In the old days, they were usually in the ashrams or segregated villages or temples or churches or whatever. And there'd always be these temptations from society, these temptation to really indulge the senses rather than to keep developing the spirituality. So there's always been people moving towards spiritual enlightenment in every age. But now, because the frequencies are higher and more people are aware, it becomes easier. But easier doesn't mean that you don't do the work. You still have to do your spiritual work. You still have to meditate. You still have to learn how to be present in the moment, and that way you can be present with spirit and present with energy also. So anyhow, that's magic. So learn that. Okay. So pretty right along, because I know we're late, and we have a 1:00 event happening as well. So I have a couple more. I wanted to do our animal cards, and then I have angel cards also. A couple more things to pull from. So I'm missing some of your okay. You're talking about other viruses. 12 years. Sorry about 12 years of Lyme disease. Yeah. I have clients that have advanced Lyme disease. I mean, I think they're going to find other ways, and using the mind over matter might help the body purge it. Right generator frequencies may help. but I know it's horrible. We've gotten walrus before. That's been a common animal in this group. She was saying autofocus focusing on my hand. Well, thank you for cluing me in why it was doing that. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. When somebody wants to read my palm, there's no reason for my hand to be autofocused. So I am the walrus. Cuckoo, remain vigilant about the current situation. Stay present. Pay attention to signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. So stay in the heart. Stay in your power. And um, and stuff like that, and be a strategist. I think of warriorship, strategy, the wave strategy. Goru no I don't remember the name of the book. It translates to the Book of Fire Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. It was a Bushido class warrior in Japan that wrote this book. It became a business model for Japanese business. It was really about spiritual warriorship and about warriorship, about martial arts and learning how to defend yourself and everything. So it's the wave strategy. A warrior doesn't feel sorry for themselves. They don't play victim. They assess their their situation, their present, their clarity of mind, presence of mind, presence of heart, and formulate strategies and honor themselves and value life and honor their loved one. That's all the spiritual warriorship is. It's an honoring of self and an honoring of peace. And through honoring of peace, because that's the ultimate goal, we have to sometimes be capable of greater war when there's forces that oppose our freedom, that oppose our liberty, and oppose our lives sometimes also. So a lot of people, I suspect I had Lyme disease in the 90s because I had those symptoms before people knew about it. I'd always go up hiking, and I'd had those joint pains and those fevers and stuff like that. But I was fortunate because I never really got into the neurological, like the advanced Lyme. Somehow my system fought it off, and I may not have had it. I'm just saying I suspect I had it. But it was a new thing then, so people didn't really know what it is. Yeah, I think somebody was saying that they had heard it got developed in 1966, and certainly, Cold War, post Cold War, they were developing all these diseases, all this biological warfare. Oh my goodness, sorry that you went through that. But we go through horrendous things sometimes as a way of growing and learning and helping other people also. So I want to do an angel card. It's 11:56, so not that we're gonna time out in anything, but I know I keep these under an hour. Wow, mediumship. Hell, hello. I don't know if you guys caught the summer solstice mediumship. We got some good messages that the other day. Jody's talking about Plum Island where Lyme disease originated. Just a short boat ride away from Lyme, Connecticut, where the first cases were. They still don't acknowledge Lyme disease, Susan's saying. That's a shame. So it says, you have the natural ability to connect with departed loved ones. So I think one of our messages is work with spirit, whether it's your guides, or your departed loved ones, and connect with them. I feel like a lot of you are doing that already. So I think for this week, really call on your loved ones, especially if you have choices to make. And I think it may not be coming up this week, but getting back to the original, we don't want to be this Eight of Swords. We don't be restricted by your own programming and our own thinking and by money and the powers that be and all that stuff. People that have power over us. We want to be in our hearts. Being in our hearts is how we take those blindfolds off. Because when you're in your heart, you free your mind also. When you're able to expand the heart in gratitude, appreciation, and love, then the brain becomes coherent. It gets freed from this programming. So anyways, that's the message for now. So at 1 o'clock, we're going to do it's going to be a heart brain coherence, heart brain spirit. I'm making up it's going to be an online course, but I'm making up a whole practice now that's really worked for me in so many levels. And I'm calling it the heart magnification system. So we're going to do a little bit of that. And when we bring the heart, when we magnify the frequencies of the heart, then we can, again, that's a form of doing heart brain coherence, which I'm calling heart brain spirit coherence. Because when heart and brain are aligned, then we become coherent with spirit also. And then our mediumship gets better too, by the way. I'll flash this one. Our mediumship gets better. So we're going to do that for our own healing, for healing our loved ones. If you come back, have in your mind who's might need a little bit of healing energy, because we're going to direct energy to people as we do work on our own heart brain coherence and our own healing. And then we're going to work on healing the collective, healing Mother Earth. Let's see if we can change the timeline. Let's see if we can help people to heal, people to awaken, people to grow, starting with ourselves. So much gratitude to you too, Blindly Inspired, and everybody that's here today. And I'm going to sign off for now. Those of you that got on late, we're going to be back at 1 o'clock doing some healing work. And if you want to dive deeper into what we do here in the Medium channel, look into Spirit Mind Family. That's our member support group on Patreon, which we have a great time there also. All right. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Thanks for being here. Signing off for now.